Welcome to our 9th video battle report in the Abyssal Realms. In this battle report, we go above the surface of the ShadowSea in a battle over the submerged ziggurat of Tanashnahal near Blood Reef. Legend foretells of an ancient artifact that can summon terrible servants of the dark gods. The Axibalan Empire, whose timeless mission is to protect the ruins of their once vibrant civilization, is sworn to protect this ziggurat and its artifacts. The Dark Mariners, dispatched by Luvi Darkeye to scour the ShadowSea, have sent Lithiana, Queen of the Deep, to seek out and seize this artifact. Will Lithiana be successful in her mission, or will she be thwarted by the Axibalans? In this battle report, we pit two 800-point forces in a battle using ShadowSea rules for an amphibious assault on the submerged ziggurat. Let's go over those forces, starting with the Dark Mariners. This is our 800-point Dark Mariners list for this battle report. I incorporated a lot of ShadowSea models in this list, in particular the leader, which is Lithiana. She'll be leading this warband into battle to capture the objective on the island, and most of these models are from the ShadowSea range. I incorporated a couple of familiar models from the DeepWars range as well. The point of this force is to maximize their ability to go after objectives on land and sea. They've got a lot of amphibious, and there's a couple of really hard-hitting models in here, and we've got some range models with the lightning sniper and Golgotha to help with targeting across the board, so we'll see how that does in this battle. This is Lithiana, Queen of the Deep. She is a personality model. She is Quality 2, Combat 3. She's an Ethermancer and has amphibious, deep eyes, and ether tech. She can summon ethereals, though we won't be doing that because I have not set points aside for that for summoning in this battle report. She will have the ability to do dimensional magical spells with her Ethermancer ability. She also has a Plasma Blade as a weapon, which is hand-to-hand +2 and armor break 2. And she has light carapace armor and natural armor. She also has a levitation disc, which gives her the airborne ability. She also has a control device, which gives her +1 activation for biomechs within one long stick. This is Golgotha, the cephalid remote viewer. He is Quality 3 and Combat 2. He is a personality model. He's a telepath, amphibious, mutant spawn, and forward observer. He is a telepath, so he can use psychic magic spells. He's amphibious, so he has land and water. He has a fishbone staff, a clawed hand, and tentacles as his weapons. He has natural armor, so he gets -1 combat score if this model is adjacent to natural scenery. He has forward observer, which gives him +1 combat score to shooters within 2 long sticks of him as they fire their weapons. This is the lightning sniper. He is Quality 4, Combat 4. He is amphibious, shooter, long, and he has ether tech 2 and deep eyes. He's a shooter, and so he uses a long stick with his sniper rifle, which is fitting because that's essentially his battlefield role. He has a lightning gun, which is long stick range and +2, and has armor break 2, and it's a blast weapon as well, -1 on short radius and shock. He has a spiked fist for close hand-to-hand combat weapon. He has natural carapace, so +1 against attacks against him if he's adjacent to natural scenery. He's also sluggish. This is the Immolator Biomech. He is Quality 4, Combat 4. He is amphibious. He's an artificial biomech. He's big and slow, and he's shooter. He has a Plasma Blaster, which is an energy weapon, which is short range +2 and armor break 3, and it's a spray weapon, so that will be a new mechanic that we see in this battle report. It also can ignite targets when it hits it. He is big and has tentacles, and he's a big club for a hand-to-hand weapon. This is the Vanguard Captain and the Vanguard Warriors from the ShadowSea Dark Mariners line. We've seen these guys in battle reports before. These guys are very hard-hitting close combat shock troops, and they're very sturdy. They've got shields for extra protection and plasma blades for hard-hitting close combat action.
This is my Axibalan list, and they're from the ShadowSea game. And in the ShadowSea world, the Axibalan Empire is a group that exists in the ShadowSea area, deep underground. They worship the ancients, which are also the ancients of Adolan, and they are a matriarchal society. And in the Axibalan leadership will all be female, and for the males, they subject most of them to a conversion process, which makes them into these animal men that you see down there. So we've got like the goat man, the rhino man, and the elephant man, and they are all from that transformation process. They have a very strong, like, Central American vibe with that aesthetic going on. They also have access to a lot of cheap magic-using models. So for this list, I did kind of a combined arms approach. I included what range I had, and the Axibalans don't have a lot of range. And then I included some very hard-hitting models and a couple of cheap spellcasters. This is the Abyssal Temple Guardian. She is quality 3, combat 3. She has the leader special ability, so allies within 1 long stick can get +1 to activation. She is a short shooter. She is fearless, so no morale checks for gruesome deaths and terror. She is armed with a charged crystal poleaxe, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 1, shock, and fragile. She also has a crystal-edged Makahuatl, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 1, and a javelin, which is a ranged weapon with no modifiers. This is Maya Huel, Sorceress of Thunder. She is quality 3, combat 2. She has the Elementalist special ability, so she can cast elemental magic and gains +1 the spell casting rolls. Elemental attacks against her are at -1. She is airborne, so she can fly. She has an energy shield, so enemy ranged attacks are at -2. And she is agile, so ranged attacks are at -1. This next model is Zuiquatl, Sorceress of Battle. She is quality 3, combat 3. She is a battle mage, so she can cast attack spells from the elemental and psychic magic list. And she has a magical shield which gives her 2 points of armor. This next model is Xenia, Outlaw Queen. She is quality 2, combat 3. She has the Combat Master special ability, so she can make 1 hand-to-hand attack per action used. She has Tomb Hunter, so she gets +1 on leap and climb actions. She is agile, so she has +1 to climb and leap, and also enemy ranged attacks and attack spells are at -1. She is a short shooter. She is also greedy. She is armed with an ancient great sword, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 2, and great weapon. So on a mighty attack, it gives an extra -1 to the opponent's combat score. She has a throwing knife, which is a short-range projectile, which has the precise special rule, so it gets +2 when targeting subsystems. And she has an obsidian knife, which is just a hand-to-hand weapon. The next model is Amoxtli, Protector of Relics. She is quality 3, combat 3. She has the Tomb Hunter special ability. She is also agile. She has stealth, so is immune to ranged attacks, spells of adjacent to partial cover. She is a medium-range shooter. She's armed with an ancient bow and alloy arrows, which are a medium projectile +1, armor break 1, and precise. And then she has an obsidian knife with no modifiers in hand-to-hand. This is the Halotl Gate Smasher. He is quality 4, combat 4. He is big, so he gets +1 in hand-to-hand versus smaller models, and ranged attacks against him are at +1. He is savage, so he inflicts 3 wounds by doubling the opponent's combat score in hand-to-hand instead of 2. He is powerful, so he gains +1 to his combat score when doing a mighty attack. And he has a thick skull, so he has +1 head armor and can attack without weapons with no penalty. He is armed with a big warhammer, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 3, knockback, so if he hits an enemy and causes a wound, the enemy is knocked directly backwards 1 short stick and fallen. And a great weapon. So in a mighty attack, he causes an additional -1 to the opponent's combat score. And then he has big horns, which are hand-to-hand +1 and armor break 1. That is Kothion. He is quality 4, combat 4. He is big, savage, thick skull, and he can do a combo attack, which can make 1 more attack using its remaining actions if the first attack causes a wound. And he is tough, so he has extra wounds and is only fallen on a double or triple. He is armed with a big spiked ball and chain, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 3, knockback, and great weapon. And then he has big tusks, which are hand-to-hand +1, armor break 1, and reach. Reach is that you can do a hand-to-hand attack without a counterattack. These next models are Tlactyl Bone Snappers. They are quality 4, combat 4. They have combo attack, so if the model attacks on its turn and causes a wound, it can use its remaining actions to attack again with a different weapon. They have Savage, and they have Berserk. For Berserk, they must charge enemy models. They activate with 3 dice with a +1 bonus, and charge into hand-to-hand with the closest enemy. There's no morale check when in contact with an enemy. Berserk ends for the rest of the battle if the model fails to activate or is wounded in hand-to-hand combat. They are armed with a stone great axe, which is hand-to-hand +1, armor break 2, and great weapon, and then horns and armed spikes, which are hand-to-hand weapons with no special abilities.
For this battle report, we are moving above the water to the ShadowSea sister rule set to DeepWars. So ShadowSea and DeepWars are companion rule sets. DeepWars is for undersea battles. ShadowSea is for above the sea or land-based battles. They're all based in the Abyssal Realms, underground, under the south pole of the world, the ShadowSea rules really are based on land-based actions. So essentially, what we'll be doing today is an amphibious battle where models from the Dark Mariners will likely be coming out of the sea to assault the temple, and we'll be using the ShadowSea rules to support this battle report. John, tell us a little bit about the differences between ShadowSea and DeepWars. Now, the rule sets are 100% compatible, but there's some specific rules for ShadowSea that we'll be paying attention to in this battle report.
Correct. And the lines have really blurred even more with the Blood Reef supplement, because it strongly encourages you to have these types of mixed land-water battles. The biggest differences that you'll probably see is that a lot of the spells that the ShadowSea models will be casting will be different than what we've seen from the DeepWars models. We also have to be careful, as the Dark Mariner list includes models from both ShadowSea and DeepWars. So some of their weapons, if they're on a ShadowSea model, will not function underwater, and some of the weapons, if they're on a DeepWars model, suffer have a penalty to their effectiveness if they're above the water.
Right, so like the lightning sniper that we'll be seeing in this battle report, fully functional lightning gun above the water, but below the water it won't work.
Correct.
Right.
And then the other differences are like visibility. You're not dealing with the murkiness of the water, so visibility is not an issue like it is in DeepWars.
Right. For our scenario today, we are going to do a modified conquest mission. John, tell us a little bit about the scenario.
In this scenario, we're going to be placing 6 objective tokens. It takes an action from any model to search an objective token. When that happens, they roll a d6. They add 1 to that roll for all previously searched objectives. So for the first objective, there is 0 modifier. For the second one, there's a +1. For the third one, there's a +2, and so on. If you roll a 7+, then you found the artifact that can summon the Elder Ethereal. Then all the other remaining objectives are removed from the table, and then that objective becomes the objective point for like a conquest type scenario, where personality models will score off of it, and you also get victory points for all enemy models slain within proximity to it.
Right, and so the artifact that we find that becomes the focal point of the scenario does not actually help you summon ethereals. It's just the objective of the game, right?
Correct.
Right. And so we've also got some boats in this scenario. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, to help out the Axibalans across the table, they have access to some boats for this. So the way that boats work is you can put up to 5 models in the boat, though as you can see from our boats that you are limited as well by your model base size. To move the boat, any model within it can spend an action to row, and that can enable the boat to move a medium stick. And you can spend up to 3 actions to do that in a turn, so you can move it up to 3 medium sticks away. There are some issues if a model from the water is attacking a boat, and the model in the boat gets a +1 on their combat score because they have the higher ground with it. And but there are issues. Boats are not great for fighting, so there's a possibility that you may fall in the water if they become engaged in combat inside the boat.
We have set up the board with attacker and defender. So the Axibalans will be the defender of the temple, and the Dark Mariners will be the attacker. John, we've set up your deployment over here. Tell us a little bit about that.
I wanted to keep as many models as possible within activation range of my leader, which is why the 2 boats are in such close proximity. Except that due to the narrowness of the bridges, I deployed several models up high with the smaller bases so that I can get moving across to get to those objectives.
Right. What do we got going on over here?
Well, in this case, I wanted to get kind of put Zeria off on her own, the Outlaw Queen, because she's quality 2, so she doesn't need to be in proximity to the leader.
Right.
So I figured she could kind of go off and do her own thing.
Got it.
I would have liked to have had the Tlactyls in proximity to the leader, but there wasn't enough room on the boat, so they get to go off on their own.
Gotcha. And so those boats are kind of hanging off a little bit of the map. We're doing a medium stick deployment on a 3x3 mat, and so the boats were a little bit longer than a medium stick, so we're just trying to be fair and say we're able to deploy a medium stick in. Okay, so Craig, now we go over to the Dark Mariners side. What do we got going on over here? You are the attacker. You're going to assault the temple. What do you got going on here for your deployment?
Well, my Vanguard commander over here gives bonuses to quality checks. So I have the majority of my forces clustered near him, so hopefully they can get extra activations to move in quickly. And then I've got a smaller flanking force here. I'm hoping to go over and grab this objective fairly early in the battle.
Okay, and so let's talk about those objectives. We talked about per the scenario, each one of those yellow tokens that you see is one possible objective. On a 7-up, adding +1 for each time someone searches one of those objectives becomes the artifact that we're looking for. So there's objective there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 objectives. Once that final relic objective has been found and the game is on, that becomes the focal point for the mission. And we will do the control points based on the conquer scenario from there on. Okay, so that is deployment and the map. Let's talk a little bit about the terrain. John, tell us about the levels of the terrain for the water and the temple and the island.
We've kind of simplified things a little bit, so we're saying the water is this is all sea level, and then all of the terrain features are one level above it, and then the temple has the base levels first as one level, then the next ring is still on that first level.
Right.
Then the next higher ring is a second level, and then the third ring is a third level.
Right, all medium, assuming medium sticks. So we did that just mostly for line of sight purposes as well as measuring sticks. So we are also able to go one level below the water.
Yeah, if you wish, you can dive down one level.
Right, particularly for the Dark Mariners, that might be interesting. But even things like this, which aren't technically exactly the same level as this, we're treating all pieces of terrain that have a surface area on them above the water as one medium stick above the water, the same level as the island, just to make things a little bit more streamlined and less confusing. So with that, we are deployed and we are ready to roll for the first turn into Dark Mariners, turn 1. Okay, Craig, a little update to your deployment before we get started. You would realize that the Vanguard Commander does not give bonuses to some of your other models. So what happened there?
Exactly. Some of these artificial constructs do not gain a +1 bonus from him.
Right.
And over on this side, the quality 4 models are going to really benefit from his additional bonus to their quality.
Right.
And that's why I decided to do a quick redeployment before we began.
Yep. So, and Craig is new to these models, so we're just kind of working through all that. So no big deal. So we've got the Vanguard Commander and his warriors all together as a block, and these guys over here functioning as a unit. Now we're going to move on to turn 1, Dark Mariners.
Alright, first off, I'm going to do a couple simple activations with the Lightning Sniper and this cohort here.
Alright, going to move on up a little bit. There you go.
And then next, I'm going to try to cast Time Warp over here. And if I can get that off and be successful, I can then give +1 to the activation rolls for the 2 models next to her.
Per successful spellcasting die, right?
Right.
So Lithiana is quality 2, so you activate that spell on 2s. No problem. So they've essentially got +3 on their quality for this turn, but since you can't activate on better than a 2-up, they're essentially 2-ups when they activate. So,
Well, because she only needed to use 2 of those for her spellcasting, she's got 1 additional activation.
right.
I'm going to have her move a short distance. She's got to stay within a short stick of her cohorts to give them that +1 bonus. So she's just going to scooch over here
Plus
a little
2
bit.
bonus.
Yeah, +2 bonus on their quality. Yep. Okay.
And then I'm going to have the Reaver go ahead and roll for his activation.
Okay, so he's essentially, with that time shift, he's at a 2-up activation roll.
Exactly.
All right. Nice. So 3 actions on him.
All right, so I did declare earlier, just to remind everyone, that all of these models are currently at the surface.
Right.
And the island, I believe, is at surface level. Is that correct?
It is one higher. You have
Okay.
to climb to get up to it.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move up here.
Yep. So you can get base to base with that island with a medium stick, and now you have to climb if you want to go up.
All right, the Reaver used his first action in this activation to move up next to the wall. And I'm going to go ahead and use his second one to move slightly over to kind of be in line with this objective up here. And then his third action, he's going to do a climb.
Okay.
So climbing, you go against your quality check. He's moved away from this model here that would give him a short distance
Right.
bonus, but he's
But-
moved away. So
But
he can't
that
take
spell
advantage of that.
only helps you on your activation rolls, not on any subsequent quality rolls. So he'd have been doing this on a 4-up anyways.
Well, but a 3-up because of her rod that beefs out Biomax.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So actually, she's doing it on a 3-up, isn't she? Or the Deep Spawn Reaver's doing it on a 3-up.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So he's going to do his climb roll, and hopefully he can get at least 2 successes. So he only got 1.
Ooh.
But
That's all right.
He does succeed in his climb. But if he did have any additional actions to take, he couldn't take them. His turn would be over, per the climb rules.
Right. So you got 2 actions, or 1 action, excuse me, but per the climb rules, he got 1 success, so he climbs up and his activation ends, your turn does not end. So we just drop him up there, and he can spend an action next turn to search that thing. All right, Craig, what's next?
Okay. Next, we've got the Immolator.
Uh-huh.
He's also going to roll for his activation.
Right, so he's on a 2-up as well.
Ooh, close.
Ooh, so 2 actions, not too bad, not too bad.
So similar to his ally, I'm going to go ahead and move a medium stick up next here, and then use his second action to attempt to climb.
Okay, 3s.
And he got 2 successes.
Okay, so he can climb, but since he only had 2 actions, his climb action ends there, right? So he's up there and on the island. All right, very good. What's next?
All right, over here on this side of the board. So over here, even with the commander's leadership bonus, some quality 3 rolls over here. So to not push my luck too much, I'm going to have the commander himself just do a simple activation.
Okay, quick activation to move him up. Gotcha.
And a quick activation over here as well.
Okay, you're still within a long stick, so no issues.
And then for this final model, he's going to go ahead and do a full-on roll.
Okay.
See how many actions he gets.
2
He
actions.
gets 2. So I'm going to go ahead and move him up to the edge of this ruin. And then use his remaining action to do a climb roll, which he gets 2 successes on.
Okay, so you get to move up,
I'll go ahead and climb up here.
and that's basically where he's going to end up, right?
Right, so that's my turn.
Okay, everybody's moved. Moving on up for the Dark Mariners. So that concludes Dark Mariners turn 1. We're going to move over to bottom of turn 1, Axibalans. Bottom of turn 1, Axibalans. What's going on, John?
First up, I'm going to activate Xenia here.
That's the hero model?
Yep, personality model, Outlaw Queen.
Outlaw Queen, that's right.
She's not a hero model.
Not a hero, but a personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has quality 2, so I'm going to go for multiple activations.
All right, let's see what happens.
2 of them.
No problem.
Let's get across that bridge.
It puts her right about there. Okay, running down the bridge. All right, who's next?
Next up, we're going to go to jump down to Maya Huel, Sorceress of Thunder, and she's going to channel.
Channel spells, okay.
She has quality 3, but she has the Elementalist rule, so she gains +1 on the spellcasting roll.
All right.
So she channels on 2s.
2.
2 successes.
Yep, so 2 spell points for her.
And next up, I'm going to activate Amoxley here, the Protector of Relics. And she has quality 3. And she is within a long stick of the leader who is yelling at her from another boat.
There you go.
So she gets quality 2.
Okay.
2 successes. So she is going to row that boat.
And so you get 1 row action per success, right?
I'm rowing it once,
Yep.
and then she's going to try to climb.
Okay.
And she is no longer in the long stick, but she is agile, so she gets +1 to climb and leap activities.
Okay.
So she climbs on a 2.
Climbing on a 2.
No problem.
So that was her second action, right?
Yep.
And she had 2 actions.
She had 2 actions. so
Okay,
she's
so that's
done.
exactly where she is.
Yep.
Okay, what's next?
Next up, we're going to go over here, and she is going to channel.
Okay.
She's quality 3, but she's right next to my leader, so she channels on 2s.
On 2s.
3 points.
No problem.
And then we're going to go over to Kothion, who I believe is going to take a simple action and is going to row the boat. Actually, I'll go to my leader. She will take a simple action to roll the boat.
Okay.
Let's see. Perfect.
Keeping within that long stick of activation bubble.
Yep. Now, just as a data point here, my bone snappers here
Yep.
have line of sight now to the enemy, so they're going to go berserk.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
So,
Gotcha.
So just
So this bone snapper
in this bone.
can see that
Yep.
dude, and that bone snapper can see
Yep.
the Deep Spawn Reaver. So they are now berserk,
Yep.
which
So-
means they just have to activate and head towards,
Yep.
beeline towards the nearest
And
bad
they have to
guy.
attempt a multiple activation,
Right.
which has me a little bit worried.
Yep, I would be too.
So let's go over here to Halotl.
Okay.
He will attempt a multiple activation,
Yep.
and he is within a long stick of my leader. He is quality 4, so he activates on 3s.
Okay, here we go.
3
I
successes.
think you're fine, yeah. So he has to move up a little bit in that boat.
Yep, so 1 action to move up.
Yep, and then you can climb, I imagine.
Yep, he's going to attempt to climb.
Yeah, so we assume he's like right on the prow of that boat.
Yeah, and he should still be within. Yeah, he'll still be within a long stick.
Yep.
So he climbs on 3s.
3s! No problem.
No problem. So he's like right here, and then because he had 3 actions, right?
Yep.
So for his last action,
Last action hero. And remember, folks, that this level of the temple is still considered the bottom there, so that's a completely legal move by John.
then we're going to go to Kothion.
Kothion, the Elephant Man.
Yep, he will attempt a multiple activation.
Okay, same thing, 3s.
3s. 2 of them. So he needs to take 1 to get the boat in closer,
Yep,
and then he's going to try to climb.
right.
Got it.
I think you need 3s, yep.
I believe he had 2 actions, so that
I think that's correct, yep.
ends his turn. So now we will go to
Bone Snapper.
Snappers.
Does he go straight for them, or can he use the other terrain?
Well, the rule says he goes straight forward, but I'm going to say I think we need to house rule this because I don't think he would jump into the water.
Depends on how berserk he is.
So I think he would do a beeline. It would be like this route for him.
Yeah, I
and
think
he
that's-
would go that direction.
I think that's totally fine.
So let's start with this one.
All right, so on 4s, I want to say?
They get +1 though for
Because berserk, that's right, that's
he
right.
activates on 3s.
All right, here we go.
2 of them.
All right, your 3 luck is going to have to end here at some point. You're doing...
I'm pretty nervous about
Yeah,
that.
so you got 2 on that guy. You're doing pretty well on those 3-up activations. And so now this Bone Snapper over here.
Yep. And he's going to run into problems because he's going to...
Yeah, he's got to jam up right behind
Yeah.
her.
I was hoping with her quality 2 that I could get her a little bit further out.
Yeah, I was
but-
surprised by that.
Yeah, so
Here we go.
2 of them.
Yep, that
So
was...
he'll be pretty much right behind her.
Yeah, I think that basically
Yeah.
puts her right there. Is that turn?
That was my turn.
Okay, so that was the bottom of turn 1. Axibalans were basically positioning at this point. So now we're going to move over to top of turn 2, Dark Mariners. Okay, top of turn 2. Craig, what's going on?
All right, I'm going to do some simple activations first,
All right.
and we'll go ahead and search this first artifact.
Right, okay, so that Deep Spawn Reaver is right there. We need to roll a D6.
You do not roll on the first one because it cannot be the first one.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So we basically just say, it's not that
Not
one.
that one. Yep.
Okay, so let's take that guy off. All right. Now
Let's
we're
roll
adding.
the next one.
Right.
I'm also going to simple activate my leader here to reposition him a little bit so he can extend his leadership coverage slightly. He's just going to kind of move over here next to the island.
Okay, quick activation on him.
And I'm also going to quick activate this model here.
All right.
And for this, are we declaring this as an obstacle?
No, this is for line of sight purposes. It blocks, but in terms of movement and elevation, this is essentially the same level as this.
Great. So he's going to go ahead and move
Okay. Fantastic.
Now over here, I'm going to go ahead and use the airborne ability.
Okay.
So
She activates on 2s.
let's see how many she gets.
2.
So we got 2. So first one, she'll go airborne.
Okay.
So basically, 1 medium stick of flying height.
All right.
And then she'll go ahead and move forward here.
Perfect. And so you've got yourself a little handy dandy swim stand over there, which we are going to be using as flight stands as well. All right.
And now that we've got a little bit better leadership over here, I'm going to try to activate my lightning sniper.
Okay, here we go on 3s, I think. Ooh. Well, you got 1 action, and then you turn the turn over.
So he's going to go ahead and just move.
You can move up that ladder if you wanted to, but you'd be like halfway up.
I think I'm going to go ahead and just have him get in position to climb next turn.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so that is the top of turn 2 for the Dark Mariners. We're going to move over to the Axibalans, bottom of turn 2. All right, John, bottom of 2. What's going on?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to activate. I thought about this a little while. The turn range, but it's going to be a little bit weird this turn. I'm going to activate my battle sorceress first.
Okay.
And as you recall, she has 3 power points saved up from last turn.
She does.
So she is next to my leader, so she activates on 2s.
Okay, here we go.
3 successes. So she's going to cast, I guess, I apologize for not saying first, but I was going to
Yeah, you should have, but we're okay.
She is going to cast an energy beam spell.
All right.
But first thing she's going to do is she's going to spend 1 action to get up to the wall.
Yep.
And then she's going to try to climb. Then she'll have 1 point left to do a 4-point energy blast.
Exactly.
Oh, moved the wrong model. I apologize. It's a little convoluted down there. I'm going to move her, and then she does climb.
Right. Because you got more than 2 successes.
So now I'm going to try to energy blast the mech.
Which one? There's 2 biomechs.
The one I can see.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So this is a 4-point energy beam.
Okay.
So at 4 point, it is long range. So it looks like 2 long sticks.
Okay.
So that'll be -2 to hit. The spell attack roll is a spell power points 4 plus 2, so that's 6. And it also gains the ignite special rule because of the amplification.
All right, John. So you're going to cast that spell. What's the modifiers on that?
So I have 4 power points, so it's a dice plus 6, -2 for range is dice plus 4, plus 1 for a large target is dice plus 5. It is a precise attack, so I'm actually going to try to shoot him in the leg.
Okay.
And with the precise, normally it's a -2, but with the precise, there's a +2 for a called shot.
Right.
So I'm still dice plus 5.
Dice plus 5 versus dice plus 4, I want to say. So, Craig, your dice plus 4, and John, your dice plus 3. Here we go.
Plus 5.
Sorry, dice plus 5. Here we go.
Missed.
I think that's just a miss.
Yep.
Nice shot, but a miss. All right, what's next, John?
I'm going to activate Maya Hual.
My Hool.
So she is quality 3, but as she is casting an elemental spell, she gets +1 on her activation, so she is quality 2. She's going to attempt to cast Thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. Here we go. 2s.
3 successes. She had 2 saved last turn, so this is a 5-point Thunderstorm.
Okay.
So what that means is she creates a zone of thunder up to 5 medium sticks from the caster, is 1 per power point. The clouds are 1 medium stick thick and have a length of 1 medium stick per power point. So this is 5 medium sticks long.
Okay.
Any models that provides tactical cover, and any model that attempts to cross the thunderstorm must make a resistance check. If they fail, they suffer 1 wound and become transfixed.
Gotcha. So she's going to move up.
Doesn't have to move up; it's line of sight.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were moving rain.
So I'm going to drop a thunderstorm right back here,
Okay.
and it will be 5 medium sticks in both. It would be 5 medium sticks across, so 2.5 in both directions.
Right.
So I believe I can pretty much cover the whole... Yep, I can cover about out to here. So next I'm going to activate Xenia, the Outlaw Queen here.
Gotcha.
She has quality 2.
Yes, she does. Fine, fine. Heroic, yeah.
That changes the plan a little bit
A
here.
little bit.
Let's see. 1. Can I start making a run for the center one?
Could.
Or I could do the smart thing. Sorry, dude. I'm gonna go here. And I'm gonna search this.
Okay, so that's +1 because this is the first one
Yep.
after the initial one, right?
Yep, so if I get a 6, then this is the artifact.
Gotcha. Here we go.
No.
Definitely not the artifact. All right, so she's got 2 actions left.
Yep. Now comes the hard question of what do I do now? I think I'm gonna have her.
So that would be 3rd action.
And then she's gonna climb.
Okay.
2s.
On 2s. No problem. That puts her right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Right in the way of the other guy.
Right on. Okay, what's next?
Next, I'm going to activate Kothion here.
The Elephant Man.
Yep. And I think I'm just going to have him do a simple activation.
Okay. So, yep, he can climb that first level there without penalty.
I looked a little dangerously with the 3+ activation, so I'm going a little more conservative this turn.
Fair enough.
Now I'm going to activate my leader here.
Okay.
Multiple activation. She needs 3s.
Got it.
2 of them. So I'm going to have her move over here.
Move up and try that climb.
Climb. I need her to get the leadership bonus to all of my dudes out of
Right, right. Ooh, so
She does climb.
She does climb.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It just ends her turn. That's
Yep.
fine.
Yep. Not your entire turn. Her activations. Yep.
Now I'm going to activate this Bone Snapper.
Okay.
Who lets out a thunderous rage at the sight of his hated enemies.
Yes. Roar! So he activates on 4s?
Berserk,
3s.
So 3s.
Yep. 3s because he's berserk.
3 successes.
All right. He might even get into combat. Well,
Hey, no.
not quite.
Well, and since he can't turn around a corner,
Yep. He'll just end there at the end
it'll
of
be a
that
great
thing.
place to get shot.
Yeah, perfect. Right on. Yeah. So the Bone Snapper frothing.
Now, the one that's going to charge into the
Bones.
thunderstorm will be this one.
Yay!
And he will activate on 3s.
Yeah, he will.
And he almost got a heroic.
Nearly heroic activation.
He's so going into the thunderstorm.
Yep, so 1, can't change direction. 2, and then 3 puts him
He'll put him right on the bridge.
exactly.
But he will enter the thunderstorm.
Yep. So we're going to need to roll for that.
I'm going to put him. He's a little
We know.
awkward
Yeah,
on the
we'll
bridge.
know he's there. Yep.
So when he enters a thunderstorm, he has to make a resistance roll with 2 successes. And his resistance is not very good. It is 5.
Ooh.
But he does have a 1-point bonus for his armor.
Okay, so you resist on 4s. And what happens if you fail 1 or 2 or 3 of those?
And all of them, any failure, he takes. If you have 1 failure, he made the roll and he's fine.
Gotcha.
If you have 2 or more failures, he takes 1 wound and becomes transfixed.
Got it. So you're looking for at least 2 successes here.
Yep, 50-50 chance.
Yep. Here we go.
Fail horribly. So he takes 1 wound and he is transfixed.
All right. So wound and transfixed. All right, John. What's next?
That's all of my dudes.
Okay. So that's
Oh, hold on. I do have. Forgot.
Yeah.
I have a relic hunter there. She is quality 3, but she is now within a long stick of my leader.
Mm-hmm.
So she is quality 2.
okay.
2 successes.
Yep.
And she has stealth, so if she hugs the wall, she is stealth.
She is like the ninja. All right, so everyone's just kind of piling up back here. He has taken a wound and is transfixed. Now, is there anything like fallen in ShadowSea?
There is.
Okay, so is he fallen as well?
He took a wound, so yes, he would be fallen.
Wound, fallen, and transfixed.
Yeah.
Okay, So that is bottom of turn 2, Axibalans. We're going to turn to top of turn 3, Dark Mariners. Top of turn 3, Dark Mariners. Craig, what do we got going on here?
Alright, so Lithiana is going to go ahead and channel.
Okay.
So let's see what she does.
Channels on 2s. Wow. 3 spell points this turn. So she's just going to hang out there and she's saving up 3 spell points.
Alright, and my telepath, he's going to also channel.
Okay, and he channels on a what?
Channels on a 3.
Okay, here we go. No problem. He channels 2 spell points.
Excellent. Alright, so next up, my Reaver, I'm going to try to have him proactively attack over here, I think, so he doesn't get charged.
Okay, and now remember, folks, that she is at the same, she's flying over the surface of the water, and she's at the same level as the island, and she is within a long stick of the Deep Spawn Reaver, so he gets the activation bonus based on her control device.
Right, so he'll be at quality 3.
Correct. All right, 3s. Almost heroic.
What's it? Oh,
6, a 5, and a 3, yeah. So you got some, you've got a rush attack going on there.
Right, so he'll
All
be
right.
moving twice and then attacking.
All right. Okay, so we've got the Deep Spawn Reaver attacking the
Plactal Bone Snapper.
Plactal Bone Snapper. So let's work through the dice modifiers. Craig, what's your Deep Spawn Reaver got?
So Reaver has a base of 4 plus a 2 for rushing, so he's got dice plus 6.
Right, no bonuses for any weapons on him. John, how about the Bone Snapper?
He has combat 4, and he has +1 for his mighty axe.
Okay, so dice plus 6 versus dice plus 5. Here we go.
8.
8 versus 10. So you hit him. What's your armor, John?
It's only 1, so I took a point of damage, and I am fallen.
Fallen. Okay, fantastic.
Alright, the Immolator is going to try to multi-activate.
Okay,
He needs 3s.
3s. You got 2.
I got 2.
So the special thing about him is that he's got the slow special rule. So in order to do 2 movement sticks, you need to get 3 successes on activation. So you only got 2, so you get 1 move, or a move and a shoot, or a move and a combat, or what have you. So what are you going to do with those 2 actions?
First, let's check the Thunderstorm.
That's
He's
true.
activating inside the Thunderstorm.
That is true. He is in the Thunderstorm, which is these dice right here, which we've placed. So we need to do a resistance roll. And what's his resistance, Craig?
His resistance is 4, but with his heavy armor, he gets a +2 to resistance checks.
So he resists on 2s. So 2 ups. You get 2 successes, you're absolutely fine. So you can do your 1 move or your move and attack. I don't think you can attack anything this turn. Your short range radius plasma blaster is not in range of anything, so I think you've got 1 move.
So he's going to use his move to go ahead and attempt to climb the temple.
Okay, so you need what?
He needs 3s.
3s, here we go. So you got 2 of them, you're just fine.
Bump up 1 level here.
Perfect.
Alright, next up, we're going to try to activate my lightning sniper.
All right.
So being near to the leader, he has quality 3.
All right, this the Vanguard commander, yep. Ooh, very nice. So 3 actions on that bad boy.
Alright, so first action, he's going to try to climb.
Okay.
And he's again quality 3. So no
A heroic climb, if such a thing existed.
So his first action, he's going to go ahead and climb.
Mm-hmm.
And then his second action...
You could aim and shoot.
Yeah,
You
second
can.
action will aim, and the third action he will go ahead and shoot
Okay.
At which model?
at your bone snapper.
Oh,
All right, Craig. So you're shooting your lightning sniper at that bone snapper. What's the dice on that?
Alright, so he's got a base of 4,
Yep.
and his weapon gives him +2. He gets another +1 for being within 2 long sticks of this model,
Uh-huh.
so that gets him to 7. That model is transfixed, so...
Because of the thunderstorm
Right,
effect.
so
Yep.
that would be another +2, so that gets him to 9. But because he's in the thunderstorm, that gives him a little bit of tactical cover, so it subtracts 1, so I'm at dice +8.
Okay, and John, you are at dice plus.
originally combat 4, but -1 because he's doing named shot, so I'm dice +3.
Gotcha. Okay, so dice plus 8 versus dice plus 3. Ooh.
Yeah, you got him.
So I think he's just super dead. No need to do the dice or the math on that one.
13 versus 7.
Yeah.
So we actually did not double him.
Actually, you're right. That's very true. Okay, so I think he has 2 wounds on his body.
That would be correct.
All right, so I think that Bone Snapper's just dead.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and activate this Vanguard here on the end.
Okay.
He's a quality 3.
Yep. You're fine. You get 2 actions.
2 actions. So he's going to go ahead and use 1 action to move and a second action to search the artifact. So
Okay.
Dice plus 2.
2 on this one. If you roll a 5, this is it. Nope. Big old nope. So we'll just remove that token. And
All right, let's go ahead and activate this other Vanguard here.
okay. No problem.
And he's going to use his first movement to get over here next to the
Next to the wall, yeah.
And is going to do a climb on his second action. 3.
No problem.
All good.
So yeah, we're just gonna boop.
climb right up there. Stay out of that storm for now.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
And then we've got 1 remaining model.
Your captain, or your commander, excuse me.
Go ahead and have him roll as well.
3 actions.
3 actions. So I'm going to live a little more dangerously and move to here.
Ooh, watch
and
that
then
thunderstorm.
I'm going to climb up the side.
Did he enter the thunderstorm?
If you enter the thunderstorm, you need to test that first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move him up here.
Yep, move him there. Now we need to do your
Resistance
check against the thunderstorm.
Probably got pretty good.
Yeah, your armor helps you there.
Right, so he has got a resistance of 5+, and he does have that heavy armor, so I give him a +2.
Yep, so you're resisting on 3s. No problem. Nearly a heroic resistance,
All right,
if such a thing exists.
Here we go for his climb.
No problem.
Just climb.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, just get him on there. We kind of know that we're friendly here. Is that everyone?
And that's everyone.
Okay, so that was Dark Mariner's turn, top of turn 3. We're going to move on to Axibalan's turn 3. Bottom of turn 3, Axibalan's. What's going on, John?
I'm going to lead off with my spellcasters are going to try to start channeling to get some extra spell points for next turn.
Okay, makes sense. Where are you going to start?
We'll start here.
Okay.
She has quality 3, but gets +1 on all spellcasting checks thanks to Elementalist.
Yes,
she
she
does
does.
it on 2s.
2!
2 points.
All right. Hey, it's
Hey, Annie.
better than a failed activation.
Then I'm going to do the same thing here.
All right.
She's close to my leader. She's quality 3, but gets the +1, so
Yep.
does it on 2s. 2 points.
No problem. So 2 for both the spellcasters.
Yep.
And remember, folks, when you're channeling spell points, you cannot move. You declare it, of course, just like any other spellcasting type thing, but you don't move. You're sitting there focusing on casting that spell.
I'm going to activate Xenia, the Outlaw Queen.
Okay.
Quality 2.
2s.
3 successes.
All right.
So I'm going to move her over to here for first action.
Gotcha. Get her right in the line of that potential objective. Yep.
Yep, then she's going to climb.
All right. Climb. On 2s, I'm assuming?
Oh!
Oh, dear Lord.
So she climbs up and her activation ends.
Yep. So she'd have to do a move. She's not in the thunder,
Nope.
right? Because it really kind of bisects
Yep.
that objective. But she climbs, but it was a little bit more juice than she needed, so that stops her activation. All right. What's next?
Next up, I think I'm going to activate... let's activate Amoxtally.
Okay. Thank you.
She has quality 3, but she's close to my leader, so she activates on 2.
On 2s. Here we go.
3 successes.
Yep.
So I'm going to have her go up, and I'm going to search this artifact.
Yeah, remember that one ledge does not count in this scenario. Does not count towards movement climbing. So she's going to search. So now, okay. So this is the 4th objective, potential objective that we're searching. So this is dice +3.
Yep.
Okay, isn't it?
It is.
That is the objective right there, folks. Now we're going to remove all the other objectives because now we know everything else is gone. That is the conquest objective for the scenario. So I'm sensing that everyone's going to dogpile that objective now. All right. Did she have one more action?
She did.
Okay.
Get cover. Her stealth.
So just basically a movement.
Yeah.
So that objective stays there. You can't actually pick it up during the course of this game, but that is the thing that everyone's trying to get within a medium stick of personalities, right?
Personalities score a point at the end of the turn if they're within a medium stick. And would you look at that?
Yeah, all your personalities are right there. All right, John, what's next?
I'm going to activate Kothion.
Okay.
He is quality 4, but he is within a long stick of my leader, so he activates on 3.
On 3.
2 successes.
2, okay. What do you want to do with him?
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was going to have him climb up, but that doesn't... I was hoping to get 3 so I could get into hand-to-hand here.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
It ain't
happen.
gonna happen. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to move him over here and then up a little bit, staying out of the thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do a simple activation on my last guy here. And he's just going to slide around.
Quick. Boom, right there.
Now I got to activate him.
Oh, boy. So we're doing the combat over here, right?
Oh, I'm going to attempt multiple activations on a 4.
Oh, boy. Danger, Will Robinson.
So he gets 1 action and he stands up. And that's
Okay.
my turn.
So that was the bottom of turn 3, and the objective has been found, so we start scoring. So John has 2 models within a medium stick of the conquest objective, so he's just scored 2 points. So that's 2 points to the Axibalans, and we move on now to the top of turn 4, Dark Mariners. All right, top of turn 4. Craig, what do we got going on?
All right, so I'm going to do a quick activation on my Reaver.
Okay.
Do some hand-to-hand. He is rolling dice +4.
Right, because he rushed in last turn, so he's dice +6, but now it's just straight up fisticuffs, so dice +4 on your side. And John, I'm assuming dice +5 on yours?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
11.
Ooh. And you got 6.
So I did not double you, which
Did
would
not-
have been a big deal.
Did not double, but now you have taken a wound and are fallen.
Yep.
All right, so Lithiana stored up 3 power points last turn, so she really needs to take advantage of those. So
Right.
she's going to go ahead and attempt to activate. She's quality
What
2.
spell is she going to cast?
Good point. She's going to attempt to cast Dimensional Vortex.
Dimensional Vortex. All right, so you need 2s. No problem. So you've got a total of 2 actions.
And 3 save power points.
Good. And we'll, yeah, 2 actions and 3 save power points. So you can convert one of those into a spell action and a move, or...
2 moves and a spell, however you wish.
Yep.
I'm going to use one of those as a point, so she'll have a total of 4 in the pool, and then move 1.
Okay.
So she's currently flying at this level,
Right.
so she'll just fly right on over here. I'm going to take her off the base, and she's at this level.
Right. She is flying, but she's just, I guess, skimming at this point.
Now, Dimensional Vortex can be cast up to 3 medium sticks away. With that additional empowerment, can be used. So it's a cost of 3 to start with. So I use up 3 of my points. I got 1 extra point to give it a little more range.
Gotcha. So you're going to drop that right about where?
Well, let's see how much range I have. So there's 1, 2, 3. And I'm assuming it has to be within line of sight.
Yep.
So, I'm thinking probably right in the neighborhood of around right in here
Okay.
would be a good spot
Right here?
for it.
You get 2 of my models from there.
Okay, Craig, so you have successfully cast a vortex,
A Dimensional Vortex.
dimensional vortex. That green die is the center of it. So there's a small or short stick radius, so that catches 3 models, this one, and this one. They take strength checks at the beginning of their activations on their turn. So basically that's an effect that goes into play and will stay there until Craig decides to dispel it, or if Craig's model that cast it dies. So that will stay in play until those conditions. All right, Craig, what else you got?
Well, this model here also has some power points that I need to take advantage of. He was able to save 2.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll for him.
Okay. Quality 3?
Quality 3.
No problem. So 2 more points, or 2 actions this turn.
And he had 2 points saved before, right?
Right. So he's a little bit out of position, so I think I'm going to need to use both of those to move.
Now, what spell was he going to cast?
He was casting Illusionary Zone.
Okay. So you take your 2 actions to move.
Right.
So probably move up to the edge there and climb.
Exactly.
All right, so you got to climb. No problem.
Successfully climbs.
Yep. Okay, Craig, so you just dropped that illusory zone. What happens there?
So, again, kind of out of position, but I thought at least it would act as sort of a screening maneuver.
Right.
Illusionary zone, if models enter that zone, they need to make a will check.
Okay.
And if they don't get 2 successes, they basically forfeit their turn.
Gotcha.
Models can defend themselves, but they get a -2 to their combat.
Yeah.
rolls.
A little bit out of position, but, might as well use it. So you drop it right there, and then, a short stick radius off of that. Okay, that is Golgotha's activation. What's next?
All right. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and have this model activate.
Okay.
Quality 3 using the leadership ability of this nearby friendly model.
That's right. Ooh, 2 actions.
2 actions. So his first action, he is going to run into
The thunderstorm.
thunderstorm. So as soon as he gets to here, he doesn't need
Well, you can do your full move, right? And
Technically,
then
the moment he enters, he has to make the check.
you make the check where at the moment of enter. Yep.
Because he could stop right on the edge of it.
Yep. Okay, and so you need to make a will roll, right?
Resistance.
Resistance, excuse me.
got a resistance of 5, but his armor gives him a +2.
All right, so 3 ups. You're fine.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do a second move. Looks like he just might still be in the storm.
Looks like he's still in
Yes.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then let's see, I'll go ahead and do this model next.
Right. Good idea. Good activation order.
And so we declared earlier that these bridges were too narrow for the larger models.
Right.
to
So
fit on.
he's got a 40 mil base on him, so he's a little bit too big to move on that bridge.
So we did some research to see what would it take for him to actually try to make the jump.
There's rules for leaping, John. Walk us through those rules.
So he needs to make a strength check, but just make a quality check.
Right.
And if he makes a quality check, he can leap 1 medium stick. If he had a running start, he could go a long stick if he had 2 successes.
Right. So it is actually literally a medium stick. We measured it from the edge of that bridge to the edge of the island, so he can actually do it if you get good enough
Yep.
activation on that.
And it's against the strength stat.
No, it's against your quality.
Against your
So
quality.
it's basically activate. So you activate.
You activate normally, and
Right.
then you do a quality check to leap.
Okay, fantastic. So they're both on 3 ups.
All right.
So your first thing is to activate on 3s.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 actions. Now you do a quality check. With this won't. If you fail this, you won't fail your activation, but you might fail the leap. But you need 3 ups, and you need how many successes to leap?
I think you just need 1. But,
Just 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll look at it.
I can't see the other die. Where'd it go?
It's a 5.
It's a
2
5.
successes, so you leap across.
Okay, so you successfully leap. Whee! So that's your first action. So we know he's in the zone, so we're going to roll for that resistance check.
You leaped into the thunder.
Leap into the thunder.
Fine.
You're just fine. Okay, so now you've got 2 more actions. Yeah, so you're just going to hot dog your way up there.
Do I roll again for this additional?
No.
No, only when you enter or exit or activate within.
Okay. Well, I might as well get out of this zone.
I
because
think you should.
it's a bad place.
Agreed.
All right, my lightning sniper is going to activate next. He's quality 3.
All right, what do we get?
Got 2 to cut.
No problemo.
He's going to kind of stay out of the storm here and move laterally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for him. And then my final model, this gentleman here.
Yes, he's outside
Right.
multiple activation. Well, he's outside the long stick of your leader for the control rod bonus.
So he is at quality 4.
And he is in the lightning storm.
He is in the lightning storm. Now, he is your last model, so you're thinking maybe go for
I'm
it?
going for it.
Nice on 4s.
I got
3 successes.
Holy shnikes, well done. Okay, so now you need to do a resistance roll for the, what do we need? We need 2s, I think, for him. That's right.
It's heavy armor.
Totally fine.
Close one, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it wasn't the other model.
So now you've got 3 actions. You can do 2 moves or a move and a shoot. All right, Craig. So you've got 3 actions, but remember he's slow. So if you do 2 moves, he'll only get, or if you use 3 actions, you can get 2 moves. So you're kind of precariously positioned above that elephant man. So what's your plan of attack here?
I think, even though it'll only use 2 of my actions, my best course of action is to go ahead and just move up here and shoot. Now it is a short range weapon, but scatter weapons can shoot up or down 1 full level. So even though he's 1 level below me, I can go ahead and fire.
So you're going to use your plasma gun against him.
Right. So his base combat is 4.
Right.
And the plasma gives him a +2. Give him +6.
And I believe he is a large target.
He's a large target.
So +1 on that. So +7.
And I have dice +4.
Okay, so dice +7 versus dice +4. Here we go.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
I got a 10.
So you're +3. What's his armor? And what's his armor break?
I think his armor's only 2. Yep.
So it beats armor anyways.
Yeah. So he took a wound.
Took a wound, and we have to see if he's on fire.
If wins by 1+ points, quality check with 2 successes or burning.
Yeah, so now you need to roll 2 successes on quality for the elephant man, or he's on fuego.
He's not within a long stick of my lead. Oh, that's close, but no.
Yeah, I would say no.
So I need 4s.
4s on the quality.
He's not burning.
He is not burning. You got a 5, a 6, and a 2. All right, so did a 1 wound is...
He's not fallen because he's tough.
He's okay, he's got tough, so he's not falling, but he does take a wound. 1 wound?
Yeah.
And he's got 6 on the body total?
Yeah.
All right, so he is singed. So that was top of turn 4 for the Dark Mariners. We're going to move on to the bottom of turn 4, Axibalans. Okay, bottom of turn 4, John, you're going to activate this Beast Man guy?
Yep. He's going to take a swing at the fallen biomech.
Right, so we're dice +7 versus dice +4.
Yep.
That's because you're combat 4, +1 for your weapon, and +1 for fall, +2 for fallen, and then Craig, you're just straight dice. So here we go, 7 versus 4.
9.
7, so you hit.
What's his armor?
I think he's got decent armor. Armor 2.
Armor 3.
Armor 3.
So the Bone Snapper's axe is armor break 2.
So you actually...
I break it.
You break armor, yep.
So how many wounds does he have?
He's dead. He's got 2 wounds on the body.
He is dead.
Yeah, so he is now dead. Okay, John, bottom of turn 4. What do we got going on?
I'm going to go to Mayahul,
Okay.
and she is going to attempt to cast a Wave Strike.
Okay, so activating on 2s, I'm assuming? Yep.
She soared 2 power points from last turn. 3 successes.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and for one of her successes, I'm going to move the boat out of the way.
Okay.
Because she's going to go airborne. Can I get that? Thank you, sir. And then she has...
So she's basically at the level of the island right now. Right.
So she can do a 5-point Wave Strike.
Okay. So she's going to cast Wave Strike, and that's a...
The enemy has to be within 1 long stick of the water.
Okay.
Which they are. So this is a combat spell, and it's your spell points +2. So this will be a 7-point spell attack.
Is it against a specific target?
It will be against him.
Got it.
But it has a blast radius of short.
Okay.
So it will hit both of them if
Right.
it hits.
Right.
So, and then plus they could get pulled into the water.
Pulled into the water. All right. So you've got a dice +7 spell attack?
Yeah.
Okay, so John is casting a Wave Strike spell with that target of that closest Vanguard warrior. So dice +7 versus dice +4. Here we go. So John is the copper dice.
11 versus 9.
Yeah, so you don't double, but you do hit.
And there is an armor break on that.
Yeah, he's armor 3, I believe.
So I beat you by 2, and there is a 1-point armor break.
So
it works.
It did hit. Yep. So he is hit with the armor break of 1 and armor 3. So essentially he is hit. So that means he gets knocked back, which is a short stick movement backwards. He was not right adjacent to the water, so there's no water damage on that one. So essentially he's knocked back and fallen. So now we need to resolve the attack against the other guy.
And there's a -1 on that, so I believe that puts it to a 10
Right.
rating. So go ahead and roll for
And so Craig rolls again for this one. So John's roll of 10 stands.
10 versus 10. So
yep.
he is.
You just beat him last time, so that probably doesn't do it this
No,
time.
it does not do it, but he is not full knockback, but he is pushed back. Because he got hit and it didn't penetrate armor.
Gotcha. Okay. Like a regular, like a knockback. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So he is knocked back 1 base length
Yeah.
and has advantage. There you go. All right. So that's the resolution of that spell.
I'm going to activate the Halotl Gate Smasher.
Okay.
He will attempt a quick activation, however, he is within a short stick of a dimensional vortex.
Right.
So he needs to make a strength check, and he has strength 3.
So you're doing a simple quick activation.
Yep.
So we're just going to do the one action, but now since you're in that vortex, you got to do your strength check. So here we go. 3s.
He's fine.
It looks like he's fine.
So he is going to...
Just do your one move
Yep.
and just get the heck out of dodge.
And then I'm going to do another simple activation with my leader here. Mm-hmm. And I want to get her just up here, skirting the edge of it, but not in it.
Right.
So that I can get within a long stick of Kothion.
Okay.
And now I'm going to activate Kothion.
All right. Here we go on
3s.
3s.
2 successes.
I think you'll
I'll make it.
get into contact with her, but I don't think
But
you're
we
gonna
won't
have
swing.
Yeah, you won't have a chance to swing. We'll just put him there for now because we've got that ledge there. Okay.
Oh, now she can't cast spells, though.
Yep.
I'm going to activate the Outlaw Queen here.
All right, on 2s.
Heroic. Nope, not
Oh,
heroic.
not heroic. Yep, unfortunately. So just 2.
So that does change my plan a little bit.
Yeah, so you can move her there.
I'm over there. I'm going to throw a dagger at him.
Throw a dagger.
And those are precise. So I'm going to aim at his gun.
Okay.
So she is combat 3. Her daggers are +0. So 3.
Yep.
Large target. Dice
4.
+4.
Yep. And Craig, you are dice +4 as well. All right, 4 versus 4. Here we go. Ugh. So she hit. There is no armor break on that, so there was a tie, so which means there is knockback, which means Craig's model actually gets pushed back 1 base length, which essentially means he falls down to this level. So let's resolve that. Okay, so he falls essentially one medium stick, which means he will take do a quality check, and if he fails 2 of those quality rolls, he will take 2 points of damage. And if he fails 3, he will
Take 3 points of damage.
right, because he's big, so there's +1 on that. So Craig, we need a quality check from you to see if you take any damage. You're a quality 4 model.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. You are just fine. 5, 5, and a 3. So you fall down and take no damage. Is he fallen?
He is not falling.
He's not fallen. He lands. He is nimble like a cat. He lands on his feet. All right, that was pretty cool, though. All right, so he falls down, but he's right back on his feet. All right, John, what's next?
I got models in a vortex.
Oh, boy, the moment we've been dreading.
Yeah.
So what happens?
Well, I'm going to attempt to activate her first, so she has to make a strength test. She only has a strength of 5. So I need 2 5-ups, or she gets sucked into the vortex.
Correct. Okay, here we go.
Fine.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she's okay. Okay, so you did not get sucked into the dimensional vortex. What's next?
I'm going to try to cast Energy Beam.
Okay,
So she activates on 2s.
All right.
And she has 2 points saved from last turn.
right.
2 of them.
2 points. Yep.
Take a move action for my first point. As soon as I figure out where I'm going to go. Let's scoot around here. Oh, perfect. So it runs through here, and I should be out of the short range zone. I am, and that gives me a 3-point energy beam.
Right.
It's in range.
Okay.
So I will attempt an energy beam.
Energy beam. What's the dice on that?
It's spell points +2, so she's rolling dice +5, attacking a large target, so dice +6. And that's as precise. I'm going to attempt to shoot his legs.
Okay. So is that it is
No
precise, so it's
minus.
no minus because it actually has the rules precise. Okay. So so dice plus 6 versus dice plus 4. All right, here we go.
12.
And 7 do not double, but you do hit.
And I do a point of wound damage to his legs.
Yep, 1 point of damage to the legs. And I'm assuming that means he is fallen.
Yeah, he will be fallen.
Yep.
And how many does he have on his legs?
2.
So that means now that he moves a short stick instead of a medium.
All right, what's next, John?
I'm going to attempt to activate my last model, a Moxley.
Okay.
She is in the vortex, so she needs to make a strength check. Needs 5s.
Needs 5s on the strength. Here we go.
Success!
All right, well, she did not get sucked into the vortex. All right, and I think that's everyone on your side, right?
Yep, and she does multiple activation.
All right.
Quality 3, but close to leader, so she activates on 2s. 3 successes.
All right. So she's got 3 actions and she's moving up.
And she has 2 left. So I'm going to do an aimed shot at his leg.
Okay.
And her weapon is precise, so I'm going to fire again at his leg.
Okay.
So she is combat 3, and her weapon is +1. So 4, and plus, well, the aim takes off of him.
Right.
A large target, so 5.
Okay. 5 versus 3 since you're aimed shot against him. So Craig, your dice plus 3, and John, your dice plus 5. Here we go.
I got a 9,
Yep.
I got a 7.
so I beat him by 2.
Okay, so she beat him by 2. She's got armor break 1, and he's got armor 1 on or armor 2 on the leg. So basically beat by 1. So he has been his legs have been knocked out. So he's now immobilized for the rest of the game.
He is kneecapped.
Yep. All right. Anything else on the Axibalan side?
I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think that's enough, right? Wow. Okay, we're going to move on. So how many points did you score this turn?
Well, it may not be as good as last turn, but it is 2 more points.
Okay, so 4 points to the Axibalans and no points right now for the Dark Mariners. We're going to move on to top of turn 5, Dark Mariners. Top of turn 5, Craig, what's going on?
So Lithiana really needs to get away from this giant elephant creature. She's
Yes,
going to be in big trouble.
I advise that.
So she's going to attempt to cast Dimensional Jump.
Ooh,
So I'm going to go ahead and roll for that.
no problem.
We've got 3 sets. So it only takes 1 point.
Right.
I think you can put more, though, to increase the distance if you want to.
Right, so for every point you use for Dimensional Jump allows you to take 1 action in the other dimension.
Gotcha.
So I can basically move up to 3 medium sticks in the other dimension at this point.
Okay.
Alright, while I'm in the other dimension, I'm going to fly up 1 level
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and fly over 1 other level for my second action.
Yep.
And you get to ignore all terrain and everything while you're...
Mm-hmm. You got 1 more action.
1 more action. I'm going to move a little bit more behind here to watch out for those precise shooters on the other squad.
Okay. And then you pop out of the dimensional realm, right?
Right.
Okay. So she is right there.
Okay, so my remote viewer here is going to attempt to cast hallucinations.
Hallucinations. Okay, so he's a telepath and gains +1 on activations for spell casting, if that's what he chooses to do as his action. So you're activating on 2s, right?
Correct.
All right, here we go.
3 successes.
Almost heroic. All right, so 3 successes.
Okay, so psychic attacks are fairly short ranged. So even if I use all 3 successes, it's only long range. So I need to move closer.
Right.
So I'm going to move closer with 1 medium stick.
Okay.
And then with the remaining 2 points, I can then have a range of medium, so I am in range.
Okay.
So he needs a will check.
Right.
Great. So here we go. We'll check on a 4. Here we go.
Ooh. 1 success, so he moves 2 spaces towards the nearest table edge, which means is he jumping into the water?
He really is. I think so. Okay, so Kathion has just gotten a successful hallucination spell cast on him, so he's seeing crazy things in his head, so he's trying to run away. So we got 2 failed will checks on him, so he's going to book it towards the next table edge, which is this way. So, John, his first move is where?
Right here to the edge of the platform.
Right, and I think we kind of ruled based on this is that we're going to say he's going to attempt to climb down. So
he is quality 4.
He is quality 4, so he needs...
1 success.
He needs 1 success to do it.
Does.
And he's successfully climbed down, but now he's swimming?
Yeah, so we get to see what swimming does for him this next turn.
All right, fantastic. So he's hanging out, swimming in the ocean. Okay, Craig, what's next?
All right, my sniper's gonna quick activate here and shoot at the one snapper right over here.
Okay.
So he's at more than long range, so that gives him -2. So that kind of erases his weapon of -2. So it would be dice +4 plus an additional 1 for this model, giving him a bonus there. And then the bone snapper is just at dice +4.
Okay, 5 versus 4. Here we go.
9.
10.
So I missed.
Missed. All right.
All right, my warrior here in the front, he's going to go ahead and activate.
Okay, on 3s.
Okay.
No problem.
Thunderstorm.
Yep, so now we need to do that resistance roll
Yep, on 3s.
on 3s.
Fail.
Well, so you take some damage, I think,
Took
right?
a wound and he's transfixed.
Ugh. Okay, so we've worked out what exactly happened there. So he got transfixed, but we did it a little bit out of order. He should have done the transfix check first. He then activates, so we're going to keep the dice rolls as they are. So he had 3 actions, so he can take 2 of those actions to shake the transfix, but he still took a wound and is fallen. He'll take his 3rd action to stand up. So basically his turn, his activation is over and he has taken a wound to the body and he's stood up after being fallen. So we're going to move on to the next guy. Okay, so next up, Craig.
All right, my next warrior there, I'm going to do the check for the lightning storm.
Okay.
See how he does.
Here we go, on 3s.
He's fine.
No problem. Too bad that wasn't an activation.
Yeah.
So now you need to activate.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and roll for activation.
Okay, so it looks like we got a failed activation, but you got 1 action, so I'm assuming you're just going to stand up.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and remove the falling condition and stand right up.
All right, there we go. So unfortunately, that is the end of the Dark Mariner's turn. The leader there didn't get to activate, but that's the dice roll. So we're going to move on to the bottom of turn 5, Axibalans. Okay, John, bottom of turn 5. What's going on?
I'm going to do a very quick activation with my leader because I want to get the leadership ability onto as many models as I can.
Okay.
So from here, she can get my my sorceress, my other sorceress, and my gatecrasher.
Okay.
My other sorceress is going to attempt to do, for the first time in the battle, just a regular activation.
Yep.
And she'll activate on 2s, thanks to the leader.
Got it. I was wondering why we were doing that.
2 successes, so for a first action, I'm actually going to bring down the thunderstorm.
Okay. So we're removing the thunderstorm.
Yep.
All right. Well, that has definitely done its work. Very effective spell. Okay, so first action, what's your second action?
I'm going to have her do a move.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Remember, she's at 1 level above. She's flying, so she's essentially at the same level.
Yeah, and I'm going to cut, I want to get her position so I can start zapping magic, but I want to do it so that she's staying, so that she can't get engaged.
Right. Okay. What's next?
Next up, I'm going to activate my Outlaw Queen here.
Okay. On 2s, I'm assuming. Here we go.
Heroic.
Yeah, it looks like it. Heroic activation. So her first action was to move there to the corner, right?
Yep.
All
So
right,
I
what's
want her
next?
to be, so when she drops down, she'll be in base to base.
Right, okay.
So she's going to come down here. Needs 2s. Oh, yeah.
No problem.
So I got 2 actions left.
Yep.
So I'm going to attempt a Mighty Blow.
Alrighty then. Mighty Blow. Alright, so we got some combat between Lithiana and, what's her name?
The Outlaw Queen, Zania.
That's right. Okay, so the dice math is...
My combat's 3. I have +1 for my great sword, so 4. And I have +1 because of my move earlier, so dice +5.
Okay. And so Lithiana is, what, Craig? She's combat 3, I think?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, combat 3, and her plasma blade is +2, so she is combat 5 as well.
But I'm doing a Mighty Blow.
Okay.
Because it's with a great weapon, it does an additional -1 on her to hit.
Okay.
So that will take 2 points off of her combat score.
Okay, so 3 versus 5.
I got an 8.
And you got a 7.
Right.
So I beat her by 1.
And her armor is 1.
And I have an armor break of 1. With a
Okay,
sword.
so that does 1 point of damage in fallen.
Yeah. Next up, I think I've got to get... Oh. I've got to get Kothian out of the water. Because otherwise he will take a wound and he'll start sinking.
Okay, so what's the mechanics behind that?
Well, he has to. You cannot do a quick activation
Right.
in the water. He has to do a multiple. Now, I can have him climb back up if he succeeds, but if he tries to swim, he only moves a short stick.
He needs to do some special checks in order to sort of get out of trouble, right? Okay, so he's not near a leader, so he needs to do a quality check on a 4, right?
Of course.
All right, here we go. Nope.
Nope.
So you got one action,
I got one action.
but you did not...
I will yield the turn.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but what happens? So what happens there with the swimming?
He's fine. He just gets one action.
Gotcha.
And he will take that action to try to climb out.
Okay.
So he needs to make a quality 4 check.
Quality 4. Here we go.
He climbs out, but his turn ends.
Right. Okay. So he climbs out, and he's back up here, but his turn is over. All right. So that was the end of turn 4 for the Axibalans. Let's calculate your points. Did you get any more points? I'm assuming it's the same as last time.
2 more.
So you're up to 6-0, Axibalans. Okay, Craig, top of turn 6. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to activate Lithiana,
Okay.
engage in hand-to-hand, and see if we can get her out of that situation.
Okay, let's do that. Activating on 2s.
All right.
No problem. Right on. Okay, so you've got 3 actions. What do we want to do?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and use 1 to stand up, and then use 1 for a mighty blow.
That's right, because you were fallen from last turn's combat. And then you want to do a mighty blow?
Right.
Okay, so you stand up, attack, and mighty blow. So the dice math on that is...
She's combat 3, plus additional 2 for a weapon, so she's dice plus 5.
I'm combat 3 with plus 1 for my weapon is 4, minus 1 for the mighty blow, so dice plus 3.
5 versus 3!
Ooh!
Oh boy.
So 9 to 4.
You doubled me,
Doubled.
so I take 2 wounds.
You take 2 wounds. And are fallen. Okay, Craig, what's next?
Alright, so my warriors, after many setbacks, are going to try to get moving again. So I'll go and roll to activate the first one there in the lead.
Okay, here we go. All right, 3 actions.
3 actions.
What are you going to do there?
I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get right into some combat.
All right, combat.
We'll move up here with 1,
Yep.
and the second one will get right in there.
Okay. So you're charging him.
And if I recall correctly, the moving twice gives him an extra bonus.
Yep, that is called a rush.
Yep.
So the dice math is what, Craig?
So he's got a base of 4, plus his weapon is plus 2 for 6, plus another plus 2 for the rush. So plus 8 total.
Plus 8. Okay, and John, you are?
Combat 4, weapons plus 1, so 5, and plus 1 for big, so 6.
Okay, 8 versus 6. Here we go.
I got an
Boom.
11. No, sorry, I got a 9.
Yep, and you got a 9 as well. Okay, so the armor break is 2 on that, and so that basically cracks armor, so he does a wound and is fallen.
Alright, next warrior in the line is going to try to activate here.
Okay,
And hopefully he'll get some actions.
here we go on 3s.
1 action.
Ooh, 1 action, and your turn ends. All right, what do you want to do there?
He's going to go ahead
Just
and
move up. Yep. All right, so you've moved up. You made some progress, and we're going to move on to bottom of turn 6, Axibalans. All right, folks, bottom of 6, we're going to start with this combat, right, John?
Yep.
All right, so actually we need to activate, I suppose, first,
Multiple
right?
actions, need 2s.
Naturally.
2 successes.
Okay, so I'm assuming one of them is to stand up.
Yep.
Okay. Disengage or fight?
Well, that's the question. Because the odds are not in my favor if I'm not doing a mighty attack.
True statement.
But no, let's go ahead and swing.
All right, let's take a swing. So, Craig, your dice math is...
He's plus 5, I'm plus 4.
That's right. Here we go. 5 versus 4.
I got an 8. And you got a 5.
So,
No, sorry, you got a 6. You're plus 5.
Right.
6 versus 8?
Yep.
So I think that is essentially
A wound and a knockdown.
wound and a knockdown. Yep. Okay, so one more wound and fallen.
I'm going to have my Sorceress of Thunder go.
Okay.
I think of their Elemental Blast.
Okay. Target that dude. All right.
Need 2s.
2s.
Ooh, turn will end.
Oh boy, you're right. So the spell does go off even though John failed the activation, so he's got 1 point. So it's 3 short sticks of range out, so you're essentially +1.
I'm dice -1.
Dice -1, and Craig, you are just dice +4. So -1 versus +4. I don't think that does it. Yep. Okay, so shots fired, missed, and that is the end of the bottom of turn 6. So John, how many points do you get this turn?
2 more.
So that's 8-0. Axibalans. We're going to move to the top of turn 7. Dark Mariners. Okay, Craig, top of turn 7. What do you got going on? You going to do this combat again?
Yeah, it's locked in brutal combat.
Yes, literally trading blows.
Yes.
Okay.
Each have 1 remaining wound.
Lithiana versus the hero. Or not the hero, I keep saying hero.
So, yes,
The outlaw.
Outlaw.
I'm still rolling dice +5 and
You gotta stand up.
Well, you
first.
got to activate first.
Oh,
Activating on 2s.
skipping ahead.
Yep. So 2 actions. Okay, so you've stood up with that first action. You've got 1 more action. What are we going to do?
I'm going to attack.
Okay, attack. 5 versus 3.
4.
4, excuse me. Oh. Ugh.
8 versus 6. So I got you.
Yeah, I think you're dead, buddy.
Yep.
I am.
Okay, well,
Morale checks.
that requires a morale check.
As the warlord falls dead.
Okay, so Lithiana is unfortunately dead. All right, now we need to do morale checks for everyone on the board who is not a biomech. So let's go ahead and do them in turn. Let's just go around the clock. We'll do will checks for the first guy here.
All right, first warrior.
First warrior.
The Will of 4. He's at 1 success.
So he flees 2 medium sticks. Well, flick 2 of his movement rate toward the closest table edge.
Okay, so he is fleeing 2 medium sticks of movement this way. So essentially what that would mean is you would get to here, and then we roll for him to climb down into the water. So go ahead and roll your
Morale, or your quality.
quality check. That's right. On 3s, because, well, actually you're not within...
Yeah.
It's just standard quality. Yep, on 4s.
He's fine.
You're very fine. So you're just basically right there at the bottom of the island.
Fortunately, he's amphibious, so he's not going to...
You'd probably be right about there.
He's amphibious, so he will not have the same issues that Kothian had.
Right. Okay, next up is that other warrior right there. 4s.
1 medium stick.
One medium stick towards the closest table edge, so it's probably towards this way.
So he's just going to go to the edge, and then it'll stop.
Exactly, he'll stop right there. Okay, your leader. Quality 3.
3.
Totally fine. All right, Golgotha.
I think he'd have a 2 will.
No, it's a quality check, right?
No, it's a will check.
Yeah, he's a Will of 2.
Okay, will check. Yeah. Okay, Lightning Sniper. Will check.
He has
Okay.
a Will of 4.
2 successes and 1 failure. So you go to the edge of the island.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, not too bad. And over here we've got no one else. That's everybody.
Yeah, but he ain't afraid.
Well, he's immobile.
Yes.
So, all right. So that is the end of the will check. So actually, not too terribly bad. So we've rolled all of the morale checks that we need to do after Lithiana has died. So it is still Craig's turn. His forces didn't flee off the board, so that's a good thing. So Craig, your next activation. What's going on?
All right, I'm going to have my Vanguard Commander activate.
Okay, on 3s. 2 actions.
2 actions.
Not bad.
Start moving forward here.
Yep. All right, he's moving up.
And then his cohort next to him there is going to also activate now that he's got the leadership bonus.
Mm-hmm. Nice. 2 actions. I think you can get back into the fight with Mr. Rhino if you want. Yeah, you can do a slide-in attack for sure. Okay, let's do this. The Vanguard Warrior is attacking the Rhino Man. What are the dice math on this, guys?
So I've got a total of +9.
Okay.
And I've got +6.
Okay, 9 versus 6. Here we go.
11 to 10.
Yep, you hit. You've got armor break 2.
So he does another wound.
Does another wound. He's still fallen.
He has 3 wounds, so he has 1 wound remaining.
1 wound remaining. Okay.
Alright, my telepath is going to try to cast hallucinations as a spell.
Hallucinations on that elephant man again, huh?
Exactly.
Okay, here we go on 2s. Heroic. Very nice. Okay, so you've got 4 actions this turn. What do we plan to do with those?
I'm going to charge forwards. It's do or die time.
It really is. Here we go. So a medium stick.
Alright.
Yep.
And another medium stick.
Oh,
here.
very nice. Getting closer because you really need your personality models close to that objective. So Golgotha is ridiculously close to the enemy. He's danger close. But there's really no sense in holding back at this point. So what else are we gonna do?
Well, I will go ahead and cast my hallucination now that I'm a little bit closer.
Okay. So you're within a short stick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need to roll a what?
I roll.
Oh, that's right.
Kothian rolls a will test. So he needs 4s.
4s on the will.
Kothian does not move.
He does not move. He is fine.
Uh-oh.
Danger close. Danger close. All right, moving on to your next activation. All right, Craig, what's next?
Well, my lightning sniper is going to activate and try to get off a shot here.
Okay, fantastic. Activating on
On 3s.
3s. 4s, I thought, right?
You're
Lightning
right, it's
sniper?
quality 4.
Quality 4. Here we go.
2.
2 actions. Fantastic. I see an aimed shot in your future.
Yes, he's going to aim and then fire.
Okay.
So the aim will take away the penalty of shooting up the elevations.
Right, so you're shooting at the queen of the...
The Outlaw Queen.
Outlaw Queen, thank you. I will get that right eventually. So you're going to shoot at the Outlaw Queen. So your combat 4.
+2 for the weapon.
Right.
Be +6.
Yep.
+1 because you're within a long stick of Golgotha.
Correct.
So you're at dice +7.
7. Mm-hmm.
And I am combat 3 with agile, so 4. But -1 for the aim shot, so 3.
Yep. So 7 versus 3?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Okay, so that's a 9 versus an 8. Unfortunately, that is a miss. So we will move on to Craig's next activation. Where do you want to go next? I think the only thing left is this Vanguard Warrior down here. Is that true?
I think so.
And the mech.
Oh, and the mech. How can we forget the fallen, immobilized, legs blown off biomech? Where do you want to go first?
I'm going to go with a warrior over here. So
All right.
he's quality 4. He's going to try to activate here.
Yep, not close enough to the leader. Here we go.
1 action.
1 action. So you can climb up.
He's going to try to climb.
He does.
Climb like a champion.
That's all he can do.
Right there. And that will end your turn. So that's the end of the top of turn 7. We're going to move to the bottom of turn 7, Axibalans. All right, John, what's going to be first this turn?
I'm going to start with her
Okay.
on 2s.
The Outlaw Queen.
Yep.
I got it right. All right, 2s.
2 successes.
2 successes. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
You're going home.
Well, this is going to be a little goofy because I'm not at the edge.
Yep, so 1.
1, and then I have to climb down.
All right.
She does succeed with the 2.
Yes, she
And her
does.
movement ends.
Her movement ends.
Yep.
Or her action ends. But she only had one action left anyways, right? So, okay, so that's where she is.
Then we're going to go over here,
All right.
and I'm going to try to energy blast him.
Yeah, you are. All right, what does that mean?
Spell casting, I need 2s.
All right, 2. Big 2.
3 successes.
Yep. And remember, she is at the same level as the island, so just straight shot.
So she is rolling dice +5,
Okay.
and he is rolling dice +4.
Dice +4. All right, here we...
I believe he only has 1 wound remaining, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 9 versus 6, so beat him by 3.
Yep. So bypass the rear armor, and so that he takes 1 more damage to the body, and so he is dead.
I'm going to activate the Moxley here.
Okay.
She activates on 2s.
On 2.
2 successes.
All right.
So I'm going to do an aimed shot at Golgotha.
Okay.
So
Increases your range band by 1. All right.
So I am dice plus 4, and Golgotha is dice plus 1.
Right, because he's normally combat 2, but -1 because of your aimed shot.
Yep.
So, Craig, you are dice plus 1. John, you are dice plus 4. Here we go. Oh my.
8 to 7.
So Golgotha is hit and takes 1 point of damage and is fallen. Okay, John, next up.
Kothion.
All right.
He is going to do a slide-in attack.
All right.
So to make this theatrical, his slide-in will be up to here.
Okay. But we know he's not in base-to-base with the immolator.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we're doing a slide-in attack.
Kothion is combat 4. He will be using his spiked ball, which is plus 1 on that, so plus 5. He is big, so plus 6. And he is attacking a fallen opponent, so dice plus 8.
Okay. And Craig, you are dice plus 2.
Just plus 2, that's it.
Okay, 8 versus 2. I don't like your odds, Craig. Here we go. When it counts. Well,
12.
maybe.
12 to 8.
12 to 8, yep.
So I do not double you.
Nope. But you go through armor. He only has 1 more wound on the body, I think, right? So Golgotha takes 1 wound from that hit, and there's a special effect after that first hit, John, right?
Yep, knockback. So Golgotha's knocked back a short stick and is fallen.
Okay, so he's already fallen. So we're going to move him back a short stick and keep him fallen. So what's going on next, John?
I'm going to have her try to cast Elemental Blast on the Immolator.
Okay.
And she activates proximity to the leader, so she activates on 2s.
Alrighty. Yep,
So 3 successes.
Okay.
So she is rolling dice plus 5.
Alrighty, dice plus 5. And the immolator is dice plus 4.
Is he big?
He is big.
So I have dice plus 6.
Dice plus 6 versus dice plus 4.
11 to 10.
So you hit, but we did not do any damage because it did not break armor. You can't knock back because there's people in the way. So,
Let's go to the Rhino Man.
okay, Rhino Man next.
He will attempt multiple activations.
All right.
Needs 3s.
3s.
He's the leader.
Gotcha. Ooh.
Stands up and my turn ends.
Turn ends. Okay, we're at the bottom of turn 7, and so John still has 2 personality models within a medium stick of the objective, so you score 2 more points, bringing you to 8, to the Dark Mariner's 0. Okay, we're at the top of turn 8, and the score is 8 to 0. Craig has 2 personality models left on the board, and so if he were to get them in position and score 2 turns in a row, that would bring him up to 4 points. At this point, there's no way that Craig can catch up with the Dark Mariners, so we're going to call the game to 8-0 to the Axibalans. So that was a victory for the Axibalans. We're going to move on to our post-game report. Okay, so this is our post-game battle report. This is our 9th battle report for DeepWars and now ShadowSea. So this is our first episode where we've got some ShadowSea action. This is our first ShadowSea game where we've done an amphibious assault. And so I think this game lived completely up to my expectations in terms of cool factor and fun factor and seeing different things on the battlefield. So let's kind of go around the room here and talk about what our impressions of this game are. John, I'll start with you.
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. I loved the amphibious aspect of it. I've had this idea in my mind of a long time of attacking a temple that was rising out of the Blood Reef, and I think we really kind of captured that. I think the key moment in the game was when I had some very good dice rolls when the Outlaw Queen faced down with Lithiana.
Yep.
And that when Lithiana died, that was kind of the end, I think, for the Dark Mariners.
Yeah. I think one of the things that was very much a game changer, and it took several turns to sort of manifest, but one of the game changers was when you put the thundercloud thing up there, that really kind of made Craig have to deal with your magic. And I think the other thing that, Craig did a great move of putting the vortex spell up. Just unfortunately, it didn't end up panning out in terms of yanking people off the table. Craig, what did you think of this battle?
It was a lot of fun. I felt like I had a great start. Just it had some unfortunate luck where the objective ultimately was on the other side of the table.
That's another piece that sort of, I was surprised. Everything kind of swung that way on the battlefield, and it was very much a game of catch up for you. So that was a tough lucky call.
It was a new scenario too, and looking at it, we might have to make adjustments to that particular scenario in the future. But part of it was intended to be that if you clumped up your forces too much, you may be severely out of position when the objective revealed itself.
That's right. So Craig, this is your first game playing again with the Dark Mariners. What did you think of them?
They're pretty fun.
Yeah.
The models are very distinctive. They've got the cool carapace and shells and the tentacles and all that. They're very, very DeepWars, and it's really cool that they can do a mixed aquatic and land force very easily. And I think they suffered a little bit from just having the single model on the table that conferred a leadership ability. And being a relatively new player to the ShadowSea and DeepWars universe, I wasn't really cognizant of that as much as I should have been, and so I got a few models out of position.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. And so that really makes it difficult to get as many actions as you'd like.
Right. I think once you get those Vanguard warriors into position and fighting, they are a force to be reckoned with. But to your point, kind of getting them out of position and whatnot, I thought it was very interesting seeing your guys getting knocked off the island and getting right back out of the water versus the elephant getting knocked off the island, and kind of what happened there. Tell us a little bit about your woes with the elephant, John.
Yeah, that wasn't his finest hour. When non-aquatic models hit the water, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, and he was I think he was probably like your most heaviest hitter in terms of just raw damage output.
Yeah,
right?
For the melee side of it, absolutely. Though he did suffer a lot of issues in that battle. It's some things you need to be aware of when you're playing with the non-amphibious force, because your opponent has more options than you do.
Right.
And I was really restricted in some of my movements. Now I got lucky with the objective because I was able to castle around it pretty well.
Right. It was right there where you had everybody, particularly your personality. So that was very fortunate.
Yeah, if I actually could, I don't know if there would have been a better spot for it than that.
Right.
But overall, there are certainly. Looking at it, overall, I'm happy with how things went. I do like that there's some very good quality Axibalan models in terms of the quality stats.
Yeah, I was blown away. You were rolling 2-ups on almost everything, except the big monsters. But
the big monsters were all quality 4. But one of the things you have to be kind of cognizant of, like Craig was saying with your leadership models, I only have one Axibalan leader currently painted, and my previous list all had things like another factions like war beasts or constructs, and that gives you a little more diversity because you have models to beef them out in addition to your regular models.
Right.
And I was kind of feeling it because I had the Outlaw Queen is quality 2, and then the Sorceress of Thunder, when she casts spells, has a +1 to activate, so that helps relieve a lot of the pressure off the leader.
Right. And I think, Craig, you were mentioning this when we were just wrapping up the battle report in terms of, and maybe even just now a little bit of having some of that lack of leadership bubbles for all of the different pockets of forces you had. So one of the things that I feel like the Dark Mariners struggle with maybe a tiny bit is access to a cheap leader. And so that makes, with the Dark Mariners, you are definitely paying that tax for the amphibious, and you're paying a little bit more for the armor. Now, they're generally pretty survivable. Craig didn't lose very many models in that game, but it does make it a little bit more challenging in terms of getting enough of the good stuff in your list to make a difference. And so that's what bricking up really kind of helps with them.
I do kind of wonder, jumping in here, if, in terms of list adjustments, if it wouldn't be better increasing the size of your biomech contingent.
Yeah.
And then you could kind of go with a 2-pronged with the living models with your Vanguard was a commander.
Yeah, Vanguard commander.
Then because this is a similar, this is a similar tactic that we've used with Nereids and Scaly Horde and whatnot.
Let's talk about one other thing that we observed in this game, and that is the magic. So the magic in this game, we had a lot of magic users, maybe more so than we've had in the past, and different magic because of the ShadowSea faction that we played. So Craig, tell me a little bit about your impressions of the magic in this game.
Well, as a lot of games we've had in the past, zonal effects are often huge.
Yes.
And having that large storm drop, I mean, John did a great job of storing some points. He did some channeling, got 3 points to put in the bank.
Yep.
And was able to put those into use for great effect. And I think for future games, number one, Dark Mirrors were new for me, so studying that spell list is very important.
Right.
To kind of know which spells to go for. And because channeling is really critical for spellcasters, you really have to look ahead,
Yes.
turn, and decide, do I really want to sit here and not do anything other than channel? And then if you're at a position, that happened to me once where I did some channeling with my telepath,
Right.
but then he was really unable to do anything with them because he was out of position to use those extra points he stored.
Yeah, true statement. John, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the ShadowSea magic for the Axibalans.
Axibalans are very dependent on their magic. I think they have a lot of cheap mages, and I think that magic was probably the thing that carried me on this battle.
Yeah.
I think that it provides, because they don't have a lot of ranged models, and I think magic kind of fulfills that same role in the Axibalans. I enjoyed the magic in this game a lot because both forces had several mages, so we got to see a lot of spells flying all over the place.
And you didn't have similar mages that could dispel each other's stuff, so whatever went out on the table, you just had to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough. I enjoyed seeing that aspect of it a lot.
Yeah, me too. And I thought that zone, the dimensional vortex zone.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, John's gonna lose everybody off of the objective, and this is gonna be very painful for him. But you did a really good job of, getting pretty lucky with those strength checks, and you hung in there.
I can't say it was any skill on that. I just rolled fire dice on it and got lucky.
Yeah, but hey, that's what happens. It is a game based on a little bit of chance, so that happens. Okay, so I know that from my perspective, I have fallen in love with ShadowSea. I think we're gonna put this more in the lineup, as an equal partner with DeepWars. I think it's a fantastic game. I think you guys would agree that you had a lot of fun with this game.
I think that ShadowSea is amazing, and I can't wait to put my Axibalans back on the table.
Yeah. So I think from my perspective, I'm working on my Draconid Legion, and so we'll be seeing some more of those. And I know John's been recently interested in some Order of Yosef, so we might be seeing some of those guys soon. And I think Craig, we'll get you plugged in with some of that ShadowSea games in the future. You'll have your pick of any of the factions that we've got, and we'll see more of that action on the table. So stay tuned for more of that. And anything else that we want to talk about, guys?
I'm good.
All set?
It was a great game.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And if you're interested in more of these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Also, we cross-post this on our new podcast called The Man Dolly Variety Show. So if you've seen us on Facebook, go ahead and give us a like. Check us out. We'll be cross-posting all this stuff there as well. So thanks again for watching. And if you have any comments or questions, please let us know. Facebook is usually the fastest way to get your voice heard on stuff that you'd like to see. And once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.